warning. The patience of our indigenous people has limits. They are peace-loving, but they are not blind. And if government continues to trample on their rights and destroy their only means of survival, we will not just lose a people. We will lose the very soul of our nation. Maraming salamat po at magandang hapon sa ating lahat.
Thank you, Senator Tulfo. I see Senator Padilla. It's a pleasure of Senator Padilla.
Maraming salamat, Ginoong Pangulo. Ako po ay gusto ko lamang magbigay ng aking manifestasyon at suporta kay Senator Erwin Tulfo ng Palawan sapagkat ako po'y naniniwala sa kanyang talumpati sa akin pong pamamalagi sa Senado ng ilang taon. Ilang beses ko na po itong inulit at nagkaroon din po ako ng privilege speech tungkol dito na talaga pong napapabayaan ng ating mga katutubo. At kung natatandaan niyo po, sinabi ko pa na hanggat hindi natin nabibigay ang tunay na kalayaan sa ating mga katutubo, ay wala talagang kalayaan. Mahiya tayo. Sapagkat alam niyo po, yung akin po laging binibigay na halimbawa, yung katulad po ng ipinaglaban ng aming godfather, Senator Mig Subiri sa BARM, yun din po ang gusto nating ipaglaban, na magkaroon ng malinaw na share ang ating mga indigenous people sa kanila pong mga lupain. Sapagkat hanggang ngayon po, ang IPRA law ay wala pong sinasabi patungkol dito. At yan din po ang matagal nang ipinaglalaban din ni Senator Loren Ligarda patungkol po sa kanilang mga dapat ay kanila. Dapat po ibigay ang karapatan ng ating mga katutubo. Kaya ako po'y masaya at nadagdagan po kami ng isang champion dito sa Senado. Maraming salamat po, Senator Erwin Tulfo.
Maraming salamat din, Senator Padilla.
Yes, Senator Zubiri, sige the floor.
Thank you.
Senator Zubiri is recognized.
Thank you. Mr. President, gusto ko lang pasalamatin ng ating kasamahan. Ay, lipat lang po ako dito sa kabila. Gusto ko lang po pasalamatin ng ating kasamahan na Senator Erwin Tulfo sa paglabas nitong pangyayaring ito sa Palawan. Tama po sinabi ng aking kapatid na si Senator Robin Hood Padilla, under the IPRA law, they have the rights to these resources from the forest. Matan lang po yan. Ina-harvest lang po yan sa forest eh. At hindi naman pinapatay yung because it's a vine actually. It's a palm. It's part of a palm. Hindi naman namamatayan pag pinuputol. Parang grass yan eh. Ginagamit po namin yan sa arnis. Kasama ko kapatid niya. Yung kapatid niya is our Council of Elder member of the Cali, Eskrima, and Arnis Federation. And kaya nakakagulat itong pangyayaring ito dahil dapat kanila yun at hindi na dapat na confiscate ng DNR itong ratan na ito. And alam mo sa totoo lang, Mr. President, we have to take care of our katutubos. We have to take care of our IPs, indigenous peoples, because if you notice, bigla na lang dumami na naman ang NPA sa ating bansa. Bukid noon last week, 6 NPA were killed. The other day, it was Mindoro, may namatay. Samar, 6. Biglang sulputan na naman po yung NPA. Dati medyo tahimik na eh. Wala na tayong naririnig na gera nangyayari sa bundok. And if you look at the composition of those who are either arrested or fall in the encounters with the AFP, marami po sa kanila katutubo, Mr. President. Marami po sila indigenous peoples. Kasi parang feeling nila, Mr. President, walang-wala sila sa ating bansa. Parang hindi natin sila inalagaan. Kaya ako isaludo po kay Senator Erwin Tulfo. Ang Bukidnon po, halos 35% of the population are IPs. We celebrate the Kambulan Festival, probably the only festival in the country that celebrates the indigenous peoples. Hindi po siya religious festival, hindi po siya mga santo or whatever festival. Ito po ay indigenous peoples talaga. The 7 tribes of Bukidnon is being celebrated in that festival. Kaya po, I am with the good gentleman from Isabela, Nueva Ecija, and the Republic of the Philippines when he is condemning atrocities like this to our katutubos. Mabuhay po kayo, Senator Tulfo, and maraming salamat po, Mr. President. I support the good gentleman in his crusade to help these IPs. Thank you.
Majority Leader.
Mr. President, next to interpolate is the distinguished lady from Antique, Senator Lauren Legarda. I move that she be recognized, Mr. President.
Senator Lauren Legarda is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to associate myself with the good gentleman from Palawan, and if he's willing to answer just a few clarificatory, friendly interpellations on the indigenous people of Palawan.
By all means, Mr. President.
Thank you. May I just know what kind of IP group is he referring to?
We're referring the IP group of living in Taytay, Palawan. It's
Taytay.
on the northern part of Palawan.
Yes.
It's called the Tagbanwa Cuyunon.
Tagbanwa. Okay. These are the Tagbanwa Cuyunin. Yes, from Taytay, Palawan. And do they live on land which belongs to them? They harvest, from what I saw or heard in your privilege speech, they harvested rattan in Taytay, Palawan, and it was apprehended or confiscated by the Senro, because I saw the photo of the Senro office of Taytay. Is
Yes.
that correct, Mr. President?
Yes, Mr. President, they harvested that in their area. And then the only mistake that they had was like they exceeded on the weight limit, but they exceeded because they were advised by the DNR of Taytay, Palawan, that they can do so. They can exceed over the maximum weight limit. So they just followed that. So when the shipment arrived here in Manila, Port of Manila, it was confiscated by the DNR. Despite the fact that they were telling the DNR NCR, now we were advised that we can proceed with the overweight shipment.
Yes. May I know, Mr. President, whether the indigenous people or the Tagbanwa Cuyunin from Taytay, Palawan, required permits to be able to harvest the rattan in their area, or is this in their forest and they're just allowed to do so? Or was there a permit granted by the Senro of Taytay?
They have permits, Mr. President. They have also documents coming from approved by the DNR of Taytay, Palawan, Mr. President.
There are indigenous people as well in my home province of Antique, the Atis and the Iraynon, Bukidnon. And I do not think that they need a permit all the time, at least in the hinterlands, in the highlands. They're not monitored because they do not abuse the authority or the privilege of harvesting for their sustainable livelihoods. I would just like to perhaps suggest to the good gentleman for Palawan that we may even provide equipment and tools to the indigenous people of Taytay, whose livelihood it is to harvest rattan. There are programs of government which I'm certain our good gentleman would know, like the DTI Shared Services Facility. So you can put up a bamboo or rattan processing center for them so that they don't need to just send it here and they can have their own livelihood projects there to provide them with sustainable livelihoods. I'd like to be able to help out in the livelihood of our indigenous people of Taytay and other areas in northern Palawan, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President. I will inform the tribal leader of the Tagbanwa in Taytay and even the local government unit, Mr. President, of the kind gesture of the lady from Antique.
And the agency previously headed by the good gentleman also has a program which may apply to the Cuyunins from Palawan. And this is the Sustainable Livelihood Program, SLP, under the SWD. It could also be Dole Kabuhayan. Just some information that could probably help them. But I am one with you in asking the DNR to explain the treatment or the maltreatment, alleged maltreatment of our indigenous people from Taytay, Palawan. And in any corner of our archipelago, our indigenous people must not be maltreated. In fact, we should appreciate and document, conserve their heritage, their practices, their culture, because it reflects who we are as a people. Without the culture of our more than 15 million indigenous peoples, of the more than 100 IP groups in our country, who is the Filipino? Silang original na Pilipino. Kaya hindi po dapat sila imaltrato or abusuhin. Having said that, I would like to congratulate the good gentleman, and because I will be, I think, defending the budget of the DNR also, so I wanted to put that on record, and you may ask them, maybe not just in Taytay, but in other areas where there are conflicts between IPs and the officials and staff of the DNR. Thank you, Mr. President.
Majority Leader.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move that we refer the privileged speech of Senator Erwin Tulfo and all the interpellations and manifestations thereon to the Committee on Cultural Communities and Muslim Affairs. So move, Mr. President.
Is there objection? There being none, motion is approved.
Mr. President, at this juncture, I move that we proceed with additional reference of business.
Secretaries directed to read the additional reference of business.
Additional reference of business bills on first reading, Senate number 951, an act digitizing all books necessary for public education and establishing a Philippine online library, providing funds and for other purposes, Senator Estrada.
Referred to Committees on Basic Education, Science, Technology, and Finance.
Senate number 952, an act strengthening the national program for the elimination of tuberculosis, amending RA 10767 or the Comprehensive Tuberculosis Elimination Plan, Act, Senator Estrada.
Referred to Committees on Health and Demography, Higher Technical and Vocational Education, Ways and Means, and Finance.
Senate number 953, an act promoting rural financial inclusion and literacy, Senator Estrada.
Referred to Committee on Social Justice, Welfare, and Rural Development, and Banks, Financial Institutions, and Currencies.
954, establishing and adopt a wildlife species program and providing incentives therefore, Senator Estrada.
Referred to Committees on Environment, Natural Resources, and Climate Change, Ways and Means, and Finance.
955, an act reducing wastage by donating and recycling excess edible food, Senator Estrada.
Referred to Committees on Agriculture, Food and Agrarian Reform, Social Justice, Welfare, and Rural Development.
956, expanding the prohibited acts of discrimination against women on account of sex, amending PD 442 as amended, otherwise known as the Labor Code of the Philippines, Senator Estrada.
Referred to Committees on Labor, Employment, and Human Resources Development, and Women, Children, Family Relations, and Gender Equality.
957, establishing the Philippine National Public Park System, appropriating funds therefore, Senator Estrada.
Referred to Committees on Urban Planning, Housing and Resettlement, Tourism, Ways and Means, and Finance.
958, providing a framework to protect and promote the right to adequate food, Senator Estrada.
Referred to Committees on Justice and Human Rights and Finance.
959, strengthening the powers and functions of the Intellectual Property Office of the Philippines, amending RA 8293 as amended, the Intellectual Property Code of the Philippines, Senator Estrada.
Referred to Committee on Trade, Commerce, and Entrepreneurship.
Senate number 960, strengthening the rights of patients against hospital detention and on the ground of non-payment of hospital bills and medical expenses and providing stiffer penalties for violations therefore. Amending RA 9439, an act prohibiting the detention of patients in hospitals and medical clinics on grounds of non-payment of hospital bills or medical expenses, Senator Estrada.
Referred to Committees on Health and Demography and Social Justice, Welfare, and Rural Development.
961, an act increasing the recruitment quota requirement of female Philippine National Police officers. Amending Section 58 of RA 8551, appropriating funds and for other purposes, Senator Estrada.
Referred to Committees on Public Order and Dangerous Drugs, Women, Children, Family Relations, and Gender Equality and Finance.
Senate number 962, an act authorizing the Department of Health to set and approve the bed capacity and service capability of all DOH hospitals, Senator Estrada.
Referred to Committees on Health and Demography and Finance.
963, an act institutionalizing anti-drug abuse councils in every province, city, and municipality and for other purposes, Senator Estrada.
Referred to Committees on Public Order and Dangerous Drugs, Local Government, and Finance.
964, providing for the resettlement and rehabilitation services for the informal settlers affected by the demolition of houses, dwellings along danger areas, as well as victims of disasters and calamities and those affected by government infrastructure projects in urban areas and for other purposes, Senator Estrada.
Referred to Committees on Urban Planning, Housing, and Resettlement, and Finance.
965, establishing the Barangay Integrated Development Approach for Nutrition Improvement of the Rural Poor as a linkage program for all SUCs and community colleges and appropriating funds therefore, Senator Estrada.
Referred to Committees on Health and Demography, Higher Technical and Vocational Education, and Finance.
966, providing for the preservation, reforestation, and sustainable development of all Philippine mangrove resources, defining for that purpose the acts prohibited within mangrove forests and for other purposes, Senator Estrada.
Referred to Committees on Environment, Natural Resources, and Climate Change and Finance.
967, an act establishing a center for autism and for other purposes, Senator Estrada.
Referred to Committees on Health, Demography, Women, Children, Family Relations, and Gender Equality and Finance.
968, an act creating an advanced studies development program for exceptional employees from the government and private sector and for other purposes, Senator Estrada.
Referred to Committees on Higher, Technical, and Vocational Education, Civil Service, Government Reorganization, and Professional Regulation and Finance.
969, an act establishing greater responsibility and accountability from private employment agencies, amending RA 10361, the Batas Kasambahay, Senator Estrada.
Referred to Committee on Labor, Employment, and Human Resource Development.
970, an act establishing information and communications technology hubs nationwide, Senator Estrada.
Refer to Committees on Science and Technology, Local Government, Ways and Means, and Finance.
971, granting free tuition for government employees enrolled in Graduate Education Master's Program in SUC, Senator Estrada.
Refer to Committees on Higher, Technical, and Vocational Education and Civil Service, Government Reorganization, and Professional Regulation.
972, establishing the Agriculture Information System in all cities and municipalities, Senator Estrada.
Refer to Committees on Agriculture, Food, and Agrarian Reform, Local Government, and Finance.
973, an act providing for additional benefits and protection to public utility vehicle drivers through the implementation of comprehensive assistance program, Senator Estrada.
Refer to Committees on Public Services, Labor, Employment, and Human Resources Development, and Finance.
974, an act establishing the National Defense University of the Philippines and for other purposes, Senator Estrada.
Refer to Committees on National Defense and Security, Peace and Unification and Reconciliation, Higher Technical and Vocational Education, and Finance.
Senate number 975, an act further strengthening the National Wages and Productivity Commission, further amending Articles 121 and 122 of PD 442 as amended the Labor Code of the Philippines, introduced by Senator Estrada.
Refer to Committee on Labor, Employment, and Human Resources Development.
976, an act providing for working time flexibilization in the private sector and for other purposes, thereby amending Article 83, 85, and 87 of PD 422 as amended, the Labor Code of the Philippines, Senator Estrada.
Refer to Committee on Labor, Employment, and Human Resource Development.
977, amending sections 22, 24, 25, 27, 28, 29, 30, 32, 34, 37, 38, 39, 42, 51, 52, 54, 56, 57, 73, 108, 121, 122, 123, 174, 176, 179, 181, 182, 183, 184, 85, 186, 187, 188, 189, 190, 191, 194, 195, 196, 197, 198, and 199, and repealing sections 127, 175, 177, 178, 180, 192, and 193, all under RA 8424, the National Internal Revenue Code of 1997 as amended and for other purposes, Senator Estrada.
Refer to Committee on Ways and Means.
978, amending Section 6 of RA 1379, the forfeiture law, to provide a fixed percentage of the value of forfeited properties in corruption cases as additional funding for the Office of the Ombudsman and for other purposes, Senator Estrada.
Refer to Committee on Justice and Human Rights.
979, an act establishing a comprehensive and integrated national policy and program guidelines for the operation and maintenance of dormitories and boarding houses, providing penalties and for other purposes, Senator Estrada.
Refer to Committees on Urban Planning, Housing, and Resettlement, and Local Government.
980, an act establishing maternal and infant home visiting program and for other purposes, Senator Estrada.
Refer to Committees on Women, Children, Family Relations, and Gender Equality, and Health and Demography.
981, promoting sustainable and alternative modes of transportation and other mobility options to improve air quality, increase efficiency, reduce congestion, and contribute to positive health impacts in our society, Senator Estrada.
Refer to Committees on Sustainable Development Goals, Innovation and Futures Thinking, Environment, Natural Resources, and Climate Change, and Finance.
982, prescribing school bus safety standards and for other purposes, Senator Estrada.
Refer to Committees on Public Services and Basic Education.
983, an act banning the importation of solid waste, providing penalties for violations and for other purposes, Senator Estrada.
Refer to Committees on Environment and Natural Resources and Climate Change, Trade, Commerce, and Entrepreneurship, and Finance.
984, an act establishing and organizing the Philippine Electronic Sports Commission and appropriating funds therefore, Senator Estrada.
Refer to Committees on Sports, Civil Service, Government Reorganization, and Professional Regulation, and Finance.
985, an act providing for the establishment of registries of professionals and skilled workers in barangays and for other purposes, Senator Estrada.
Refer to Committees on Labor, Employment, and Human Resource Development, and local government.
986, an act providing mechanisms that shall ensure the effective implementation of RA 10176, the Arbor Day Act of 2012, Senator Estrada.
Refer to committees on environment, natural resources, and climate change and local government.
987, instituting a national land use policy providing the implementing mechanisms and for other purposes, Senator Estrada.
Refer to committees on sustainable development goals, innovation, and future thinking and finance.
988, an act promoting menstrual health and hygiene by providing free menstrual products to indigent women and to girls enrolled in public schools nationwide, appropriating funds therefore, Senator Estrada.
Refer to committees on health and demography, basic education, and finance.
989, an act amending Articles 29, 97, 99, 171, and 174, and creating a new Article 99A under Act 3815 as amended, otherwise known as the Revised Penal Code, Senator Estrada.
Refer to Committee on Justice and Human Rights.
Senate number 990, providing for the modernization of the National Mapping and Resource Information Authority, providing funds and for other purposes, Senator Estrada.
Refer to committees on environment, natural resources, and climate change, national defense and security, peace, unification and reconciliation, and finance.
991, abolishing the Optical Media Board created by virtue of RA 9239, the Optical Media Act of 2003, and for other purposes, Senator Estrada.
Refer to committees on public information and mass media and civil service, government reorganization, and professional regulation.
992, providing for the urban and countryside greening in the Philippines, Senator Estrada.
Refer to committees on environment, natural resources, and climate change, local government, and finance.
993, an act consolidating all performance measurement tools and reward system for all LGUs by institutionalizing a culture of meritocracy in the Philippines, amending RA 11292, the Seal of Good Local Governance Act of 2019, and for other purposes, Senator Estrada.
Refer to committees on local government and finance.
994, regulating the ownership and operation of drones by private persons, prescribing mechanisms for registration, providing penalties for violations, and for other purposes, Senator Estrada.
Refer to committees on public services and trade, commerce, and entrepreneurship.
995, prohibiting the issuance of pre-approved credit cards without the consent of the consumer and for other purposes, Senator Estrada.
Refer to committee on banks, financial institutions, and currencies.
996, ensuring the occupational health, safety, and welfare of business process outsourcing workers and other similarly situated professionals, Senator Estrada.
Refer to committee on labor, employment, and human resource development.
997, strengthening the wildlife conservation and protection mechanism in the Philippines, amending RA 9147, the Wildlife Resources Conservation and Protection Act, providing funds therefore and for other purposes, Senator Estrada.
Refer to committees on environment, natural resources, and climate change, sustainable development goals, innovation, and futures thinking, ways and means, and finance.
998, an act mandating employers to provide a personal finance education program, amending PD 442 as amended, the Labor Code of the Philippines, Senator Estrada.
Refer to committee on labor, employment, and human resources development.
999, further amending Book 4 of PD 442, the Labor Code of the Philippines, to include an additional title on family welfare, Senator Estrada.
Refer to committee on labor, employment, and human resources development.
Senate number 1000, an act to strengthen the charter of the Philippine National Police Academy as provided under PD 1780 and for other purposes, Senator Estrada.
Refer to committees on public order, dangerous drugs, and finance. Majority Leader.
Yes, Mr. President. Mr. President, at this juncture and with the consent of the body, upon consultation with the chairperson of the Committee on Environment, Natural Resources, and Climate Change, and for consistency of referrals to Senate bills, Senate Bill numbers 360 and 786, I move to change the committee referrals of Senate Bill number 813, Graduating Students for Reforestation Act, from the Committees on Environment, Natural Resources, and Climate Change, Basic Education, and Finance, to the Committees on Basic Education, Higher Technical and Vocational Education, and Finance. So move, Mr. President.
Is there objection? There being none, motion is approved.
Mr. President, with the consent of the body and upon consultation with the chairperson of the Senate Committee on Basic Education, and again for consistency of referrals to Senate Bill numbers 102 and 103, I move to change the committee referrals of Senate Bill number 529, Second Congressional Commission on Education, EDCOM 2 Act, from the Committees on Basic Education and Higher Technical and Vocational Education to the Committees on Higher Technical and Vocational Education and Basic Education. I so move, Mr. President.
Is there objection? There being none, motion is approved.
Mr. President, I move that we dispense with the reading of the journal of the 13th session Wednesday, August 27, 2025, and consider the same as approved.
Is there objection? There being none, motion is approved.
President.
Mr. President, the gentleman from Bukidnon is seeking the floor. Move that he be recognized, Mr. President.
Senator Juan Miguel Zubiri is recognized.
Yes, Mr. President, we'd just like to put on record that there are more members of the minority in the plenary session today. There's only 4 members of the majority, just to show how hardworking the members of the minority bloc is. And don't worry, we will not ask for any controversial motion, only to support the motion of the majority floor leader that we adjourn, Mr. President.
Just to put on
Take note
record,
of that.
Mr. President, there are only 5 members who is not in the compound right now, Mr. President. Just to put that on record as well. Mr. President, I move that we adjourn the session until 3 o'clock in the afternoon of Tuesday, September 2, 2025. So move, Mr. President.
Is there objection? There being none, the session is adjourned until 3 o'clock in the afternoon of Tuesday, September 2, 2025.